Hi, this is Richard Bliss with Crowdfundbeat here in San Jose, California. We're at the 3D printing conference at the Doubletree, and I'm visiting with Amir Rubin, who is the CEO of Sixense, a 3D, what would we say, Rubin, a 3D virtual reality company? What is that you do?
Sixense is a company that was founded on the premise of creating the best experience to interact with virtual worlds. So it's everything starting with the input device, the human-machine interface, moving to the middleware. What we developed is the in-motion engine. It's an engine that enables you to develop applications for motion input devices with minimal risk at a very high speed, and then applications that make the experience of using the full hardware and software package best and better than anything else before. Specifically, a Make VR application that make it possible for anyone to do 3D printing, to model for 3D printing.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick, because we're actually here to talk about your crowdfunding strategy. But what you're talking about is you're describing a virtual reality experience, and now you're going to tell me how that translates to the physical world of 3D printing. So help me understand that.
Okay, so let's start with the most basic experience that is required to interact in the real world to create any kind of an object. You need to have an experience where you use your hands into reaching to materials, whether it's clay or Lego. You might want to use Lego blocks to create something, or you might want to use clay to create something. We wanted to create that immersive, intuitive experience in virtual reality, in the virtual world, in the digital media space. So what we've done, we created all the pieces that were missing. The first piece that was missing is the one on Kickstarter right now, is what we refer to as the STEM system. The STEM system is the best way to interact with digital media. And it comes down to the fact that it's 5 full 6 degrees of freedom motion controllers, meaning any move you make, X, Y, and Z, and the 3 orientation, pitch, yaw, and roll, is translated to the digital space. So if you are holding virtual hand in the digital space, it's just an extension of your own hands. If it's your feet, it's an extension of your own feet. And if you have one on your waist, one of our STEM systems, STEM on your waist, automatically your whole body and your whole self is in the virtual world. And that for us was a good start.
Okay, so let's talk about your crowd, because you've got all kinds of other components here, but you launched a crowdfunding project on Kickstarter as of the recording just a couple of days ago, right?
We launched it on Thursday. And today, we are on Wednesday. We are 5 days later, and with an amazing support from the community, we are over double of our goal. We started with a goal of $250,000, expected it to take over, at least 3 weeks to 4 weeks to get there, got all prepared for that. And then within the first day, the community pushed us over our goal. And by the time we woke up the next morning, we were almost double. So today we are over double, and now we are working on providing additional features with all sorts of stretch goals that we planned for further down the road, because the community deserves it. They gave us so much support, both developer community and the enthusiast community, both the virtual reality community and many, many other industries that are coming in, from hobbyists to training companies and education. People are coming to us from every angle and saying how amazing things they can do with this technology. And we are going to work very hard to deliver on that.
So let's talk about what's happened, because it caught you off guard, right?
Caught us off guard completely.
Okay, so you launched your Kickstarter campaign to raise funds for this particular component of what your company does, Sixense. How long has Sixense been around as a company?
Sixense was founded in 2007. I founded the company with what I consider to be my mentor. His name is Avi Arad. Avi Arad used to be the CEO from Marvel Comics, and he's still one of the lead producers in Hollywood. He's produced Spider-Man and Iron Man and all sorts of movies like these. But what he's really famous in my world for is that he is a mechanical engineer, and he is one of the most successful toy inventors in the history of the toy business. And together with him, since 1985, or 86 specifically when I met him, we have been trying to bring toys together with virtual worlds. I always been the virtual world guy, the digital world, the digital media space, and he's been the physical guy. And today, we have, especially now when we are moving into 3D printing, and we are enabling anyone to create models that can easily be printed without any need for complicated applications and too much money being spent, we feel that our dream is coming together.
So 5, 6 years you've been doing this, 7 years, and now you do this Kickstarter campaign to raise funds. And one of the differences is, most of the listeners will know that there's no equity being given up when you do this Kickstarter campaign. This $500,000 that you've already raised, and it's on track now, I did the research, to $1.2 to $2 million when your campaign's over. There's no equity being given up. This wasn't angel investment. This wasn't equity funding, a series of funding. What led you to this point to turn to Kickstarter to actually look at raising money? And obviously you were surprised by it, but what kind of guided you as a company? Because most people think of crowdfunding and Kickstarter particularly as individuals, but you as a company pursued this strategy. What was the thought there?
So it all starts from the reason that we even went about making our own product as a Sixense branded product. It started from the fact that for years we took our hardware technology, our motion tracking technology, and licensed it to big OEMs, to big companies that took it and under their brand released it. You have a company like Razer, the peripheral company that created the Razer Hydra, powered by Sixense motion tracking technology. You have companies like Namco Bandai. You have a few other companies that are using our technology for different reasons. It comes down to what made me take the risk of becoming a consumer company. The risk is inventories, everything to do with every aspect of owning hardware, developing hardware, manufacturing hardware, and shipping and marketing it. It is a very, very big undertaking. The community is the one that drove us into it. They saw what we did with Razer, and they came back and said, Razer Hydra is the best way currently that we can use virtual reality. You know, for the Oculus Rift, every developer and consumer said the Oculus Rift needs an input device that is more intuitive than mouse and keyboard and dual analog controller. And we went with that and said, okay, what do you want? We went to shows from Game Developer Conference and others. What is missing in the Hydra? So the first thing they said, it needs to be wireless, because we want to turn around and it cannot be wired. The next thing we need bigger play zone. Razer made it for professional gamers. They made it so you sit at your PC and you play, you know, heavy-duty games, you know, what they call shooting games and etc. We said, okay, when do you want the product? We want the product when the Oculus Rift is going to launch in 2014. We did the calculation and came down to the only way it's possible to do it is if we do it ourselves. By the time we'll get any one of the big companies to do it, it's never going to make it to market. It's going to make it 2015 if we're lucky. So we have to do it ourselves. So then went to my board of directors and said, okay, we want to go ahead. We believe it can happen. We are in direct link with the community. We have thousands of people on our forums that are asking and looking for us to bring it in. We believe in it. And the response was, okay, how are you going to bring it out? And the answer was, without a doubt, our community, the people we live with, is in the Kickstarter community. Let's, together with them, prove that this is a valid platform for the industry, for the community. Now, we did not expect such a support. But with this kind of support, there's so much more now that we're going to give the community and together be able to make it closer to the capability of reaching that full immersive experience of allowing us to enter the game. And we are not only working with Oculus, we're working very closely with Omni, with the Virtuous Omni, you know,
the motion, the physical motion.
Exactly, the locomotive. Amazing application also. I envision that way beyond just gaming, but just for gaming, it's an amazing experience. My 18-year-old son, which is a super gamer, as you can imagine, with a father that's a gamer. First time he tried it, he could not stop. He kept running, and he's a runner, as I was telling you earlier, running and running and running, and Half-Life 2 was going crazy. But again, you need to track your feet, you need to track your hands. That's where we come in.
So we only have just a couple of minutes here left in the interview. Around the crowdfunding strategy, you went to Kickstarter. It's been so far extremely successful for you. So two questions as we wrap up. Are you going to continue to look to Kickstarter as ways to fund additional projects from your company? And is there some advice you could give to somebody who's watching who maybe is in a similar situation? What ideas you would give them if they're going to look at doing Kickstarter?
So I'll give you the answer for the first question first. So yes, we look at the Kickstarter community as the community that can help us understand what is it that if the community does not want the product, they immediately tell us. If they don't support it, we know there's no support for the product, no reason to bring it out. If the community supports it, if you look at what they've done for us in STEM system, it is without a doubt the most and the best validation to the need for any product that anybody makes. And again, the Kickstarter itself, the platform is so efficient. The whole ability to communicate with the community, with the comments, providing updates, it just works so beautifully that we are learning so much in the process. And you'll see as we coming with updates over the next 3 weeks, you'll see, and understand. Now we are bringing Make VR, the 3D printing modeling application. We're going to bring it in exactly, before the end of the year. But to answer your second question, what advice I can give? I can give you the most important advice I can share, and that's about the mistakes we made. The biggest mistake that we made is we did not prepare for success. We prepared for a long, grueling fight for the finish line. We were saying, okay, let's get 50,000 the first, or 100,000 the first, or get, and then continue push through the finish line to 250, 260, 300. The fact that we got to 500 to 250 within 3.5 hours, we completely got caught off guard, and that means that we did not have our updates written. We had updates written for pushing through the finish line and all sorts of updates that would not become completely irrelevant the moment we already made our goal. So we had to go back to the, to the scripting, back to the marketing, back to everything from start. The first update we sent out is thank you for everyone for surprising us. It's a wonderful surprise. But now we are working, as you can tell, on my face and my voice. We're working 20 hours a day, and soon there's going to be a lot of good things. But please forgive us for not giving you enough information for the past 3 days, because that's the most important thing. It's very important to be conservative, but the community deserves for you to plan for success. Be ready, if you are successful, to give the next stretch goal and the next feature and the next message to the community.
Thanks, Rubin. Thanks, Amir. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. I really, really appreciate this, that you took your time. Thank you so much.
We've been talking to Amir Rubin, the CEO of Sixense, here at the 3D Printing Conference in San Jose, California. This is Richard Bliss with Crowdfundbeat.